they drove quite a ways, but I want you to know, I don't remember the exact year, but I once drove from Los Angeles to Toledo, Ohio, to see movies in a Cinerama theater.
Toledo.
So it's the actual Cinerama movies. And when I went there, for the movie, a very nice guy came up and introduced the film, explained a little bit about Cinerama, explained about the films, and was nice enough to mention that I was the person who had driven the farthest to see the films, and that I would get a Cinerama bumper sticker. And we stayed and we watched the movie, which that evening was This is Cinerama. And after the movie, strangely enough, this gentleman vanished. And I got nothing. Nothing at all. But I got my car and I drove on to Virginia. And life spun on, and I eventually ended up back here. And my friends, Diane and Jerry Hermanson, who were back here, told me about this place, and I had to come here. And I came here, and I met some of the people here. And I met a very nice gentleman and his wife. And they explained to me that all the films that are here in the vaults used to be in vaults on an Army base near Toledo, Ohio.
Make that Dayton, Ohio.
Dayton, Ohio. Dayton, Ohio. Forgive me. I don't have any memory. So that's why I haven't told the guy's name, because I don't actually remember it. And yes, Dayton, Ohio. I should remember. It's a Randy Newman song. So I, of course, not wanting the conversation to be about Dayton, but to be about me, told my Dayton, Ohio story. And the gentleman said, well, that was me. That was my theater. And he and his wife work here. They partially live here, too. And I said, well, I didn't get my bumper sticker. And he was nice enough to not only bring me a bumper sticker, but a little Cinerama lapel pin and an extra large, because of me, Cinerama sweatshirt, which I was going to wear this evening, but unfortunately it's up in New York. So I apologize for that. And now it's my job to introduce him, and he will come up here and he will say, good evening, my name is Larry Smith. I work here in the Library of Congress in the nitrate division. For those of you who might not know, nitrate is the film stock that was used on all films made before 1950, or as we like to call them, the good ones.
Larry says that every
So, how many people are here for the first time? Whoa! Thank you for coming. We appreciate your being here. We hope you'll come back, help us with our theater. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful program. It's a great place. You should come often. And before we get started, we do have a few house rules which we'd like to go over with you. No smoking, no drinking, no smoking anything once you see the movie. No chewing, no spitting, no any of that. There's, we ask you please turn off your cell phone and other electronic devices. If we see them on, we will confiscate them and we will sell them on eBay because we need the money. Those of you who need the restroom or anything during the movie, the back door will be left open. What's on the other side of the lobby? When you came in through the doors, you turn right to come here. If you go the other way, you'll see the restroom, which may be a better show this evening. I don't know. Am I forgetting anything?
I think you covered it, Marvin.
Okay. So now to explain the film to you, ladies and gentlemen. Oh no! Wait a minute. Thank you, sir. Thank you. There is no talking. There is zero talking. And just to let you know, whispering is talking. Because you'll be surprised when nobody else is talking in a theater and you're whispering. People can hear you. It doesn't matter where you are. And people will come around and they'll shine a laser in your eyes. They have one here. They used to do it with airplanes, but I never stopped them, so they just use it now. First time, just one eye. Second time, they have a special buyer's program for seeing eye dogs. So, ladies and gentlemen, to explain the movie to you, because I don't know what it is, Mr. Larry Smith. You got so cold, so I'm now going to wash my hair.
Thank you, Marvin McIntyre, for making up for my lost voice. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Marvin McIntyre. In case you haven't heard about it or picked up one of the flyers, we are doing a tribute tonight to Marvin. The feature film is about 90 minutes long. At the end of the 90-minute movie, if you're still here, we're going to take a 5 to 10 minute intermission. Why do we take an intermission? Because that's only half the program. After the intermission, we're going to welcome you back here, and Marvin and I are going to stand down front, and we're going to show clips from like 16 different movies he was in, where he worked with Arnold Schwarzenegger, besides Kevin Costner, Kevin Kline, Deborah Winger. It goes on and on. The list of people he has worked with, movies he's been in. And it's going to go by quickly. We've actually got, it's like 16 different clips in less than 20 minutes. We're going to talk about it, and then we're going to show the student film, Proof. It's a little 24-minute movie that was made in the University of Southern California, starring Marvin. So it's all about Marvin tonight, and I'll tell my story now that he's left the room. Back to Diane and Jerry Hermanson, regulars. Thank God they come see almost everything here. They can tell you whether it's good or bad. They saw it. And they told me about 3 years ago about Marvin, and I'm like, he lives here, and he's been in all these movies, and we would go out after the movies and ask him about working with these different people. He told me stories about Betty Davis. He told me stories about all these people that he worked on the television show Alice. He worked on Family Ties. It just goes on and on. He knows all these people, and I'm like, I gotta get you up on stage. No, sorry, don't do that. Don't go up on stage. You don't want to humble and don't talk about yourself. So 3 years later, he's moving out of Virginia to New York, and I said, Marvin, this is our last opportunity. So that's tonight's tribute. I'm glad you all came. I'm going to tell you briefly about the film so we can get started. He told you the rules. That saves my voice there. The feature Fandango, the brief intermission, and then we're going to leave Marvin Proof. What is Fandango? Anybody not see the film before? Anybody never see Fandango? Okay, well, you're kind of in for it. Fandango is a buddy road trip comedy. Some say it's like Animal House Goes to Texas. But I think you'll love it. Right at the beginning, you'll see Kevin Costner doing something we all had to do right after we got out of school, get over that first love. Well, that's kind of one theme that goes on in the movie, is getting over that first love, growing up, learning how to stop partying and face reality. And reality in a lot of the guys' stories in the film is the draft. This is made during the Vietnam War. So you'll have to deal with that.
Center.
Quentin Tarantino, a quite popular modern director, said that he, if you saw this in the slideshow, he saw this film 5 times the week it came out. And he loved it so much that at the beginning of this film, he did a tribute to it in Pulp Fiction, where he takes the title of the film and actually uses the definition of the word. He stole that from this film. So with that ought to kind of cover everything. Thank you for coming. Again, the feature first, then we're going to do an intermission, and if you want to stay for the Q&A with Marvin, it should be wonderful. Thank you for coming.